Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Robbie Gemmell's podcast. Today, I'll be talking to you guys about my motorcycles. So, if you've clicked on this episode, you're probably thinking about buying a motorbike, aren't you? And in this episode, I kind of just want to tell you guys about the pros and the cons and what I've been through and what kind of to expect and, you know, just kind of the basic stuff of motorcycle riding. So, first of all, I'll start with a bit of a background story of me and motorbikes. So I started riding motorbikes quite a long time ago now. I think I started riding when I was I was still in high school, and my first motorcycle was a Chinese scooter. It was a 50cc scooter. It was absolutely slow, but it taught me the fundamentals of motorcycle riding. I done a few modifications on it as well over the time that I had it, especially because me being in high school. I installed neons on it. I bloody put stickers on it. I actually installed a sound system underneath the seat in the lock storage. It was absolutely nuts, but I thought it was absolutely cool at the time. And then my second motorcycle I got was the Honda 125 CB. Oh, Honda CB 125E is what it was called, and that was my favorite motorcycle. It's an awesome motorcycle to learn on. Didn't have a rev counter though, which was a bit of a pain, but it actually taught me how to change gears via the sound of the engine instead of actually looking at a rev counter, which is vital when riding a motorcycle because every second that you cannot look down, you can be spent looking at the road, which is what where obviously we want to keep your eyes is on the road. And then lastly, my last motorcycle, my third motorcycle, I'll tell you guys why it was my last motorcycle as well, and that is the Suzuki Inazuma 250. So, on each of these motorcycles, I actually crashed them. My moped was just it was a little crash. I slipped off around a roundabout, not too bad. My Honda, I went riding out through a track I usually done. It was out in Hanua, which is in Auckland, New Zealand, and so they just kind of put a bit of, I guess, like a bit of gravel on the road, and I wasn't expecting it. I was riding around, kind of pushing my bike to its limits. It was kind of the bike was new to me. I was just learning the limits of it, first time kind of learning to ride a manual motorcycle as well. Anyway, I was kind of hooting up this hill, bit too fast, hit a bit of gravel, boom, bike slipped out, fractured my arm, no, just my wrist, and that was my first lesson of motorcycle riding. And the thing is I was out in the middle of nowhere and I had to start the motorcycle myself. I rang up a few people and they were like, "Oh man, we can't get there." So I was like, "Damn, I'm gonna have to suss this. I'm gonna have to do something." And anyway, I got hold of my dad and he's like, "Oh, I don't really know about you." I had no idea where I was. I was out in the bush somewhere, some country road. Anyway, he's like, "If you can meet me at this point, I'll be able to take your motorcycle." So I was like, "Oh, cool, that'd be awesome." But obviously the motorcycle died because I crashed and the whole thing was just a bit munted. And that was the first lesson, and that is you got to be tough. So I had to start the motorcycle. What it was ended up being was just the kill switch had unclipped, and I just had to clip that back together. But in the meantime, before I knew that was the problem, I had to disassemble the whole thing. My wrist was absolutely killing me, and I ended up getting this thing going, and I rode back to town where my old man chucked it on a trailer, and we got it back. And yeah, that's one of the biggest things is you got to be tough. Like there could be situations where you're out in the middle of nowhere, like I was, and you've just got to make the best of what you can. You got to kind of have a background of what you're doing, and just kind of wear the right gear. But wearing the right gear will come into terms in this next segment, and that is my next motorcycle I'm going to bring up, and that is my Suzuki Inazuma. So my Suzuki Inazuma, like I said before, it was my last motorcycle I owned, and I'm about to tell you guys why it's my last motorcycle I owned. Well, last motorcycle for now. So I ended up getting bored of the Honda, and I was like, I want something a bit fast. The 125, you couldn't take passengers; it was a bit slow, And I was like, I want something a bit faster, 250 maybe. So what I did was I ended up selling the Honda, and I bought myself a Suzuki Inazuma. Bought it off this old fella, awesome guy. Got it for a really good price, and it had done a couple of 100 kilometers. It was brand spanking new, really. So anyway, I was riding my new motorcycle the fourth day of me purchasing it, and I got T-boned at an intersection on my way to course. And like that was obviously that's pretty bad. But what made it even worse was I wasn't wearing the right equipment. And that is the most vital part of riding motorcycles, making sure you wear and buy the right equipment. See, my problem was is I went out and I brought all the right equipment. The only thing was I didn't always wear it. And that is where a lot of people get caught out, and that is something you must follow. And that is wearing the right gear all the time. It doesn't matter. You might just be going up to the local dairy to go and get yourself a pie. Wear your helmet. Wear your jersey. Wear your pants. Wear your steel cap boots. And wear your gloves, because you don't know. You could be riding up there. Oh, it's only a 2-minute ride. Oh, I should be right. Anything can happen. And what I'm about to tell you guys is pretty intense what happened, but this is the result of not wearing steel cap boots and not wearing the right equipment. So I got T-boned at this intersection, and what ended up happening was I was wearing Vans, Vans off the wall, just sneakers, and I ended up severing 2 toes off my foot and breaking my foot into pieces. I was in hospital for quite a while, and probably the worst thing was about this whole thing was every person that came in, they were kind of like, because I had like a lot of people that rode motorcycles in my life at that time, they were kind of coming in and they were like, man, you mucked up. There wasn't like much. There was like a bit of sympathy going around, but there wasn't that much sympathy. Everyone was just kind of coming in and going, man, you mucked up. This one's on you. You know to wear your equipment all the time. And it was kind of that moment right there that made me think, damn, if I'm going to continue riding motorcycles, I got to wear the right equipment. So I just, you guys have to learn from other people's mistakes in life. And wearing the right equipment is absolutely vital. Learning to ride your motorcycle, absolutely vital. And I believe starting off on a small motorcycle first is the key. Because, like I said, with my scooter, I came off that. The max speed you could go is 50 kilometers an hour. That's like bloody slow, isn't it? And if you muck up on that, you're 9 times out of 10 walking off sweet. And even on a scooter, I would still recommend wearing the right gear. But you don't obviously have to go too hardcore. Just make sure you wear a helmet and a jersey and stuff. You don't have to wear a full-on padded motorcycle jersey and all of that. But make sure you're protected. But that is, I reckon, is the best way to start. Start off small and build up from that foundation. Start on a small foundation and then slowly build up as you gain confidence, and just wear the right equipment, guys. Like I have, like ever since my accident, I have been kind of driving around in my car. I actually ended up buying an Isuzu Bighorn, which, if you guys don't know what that is, give that a Google. And anyway, that was a vehicle I bought after that. Just driving around, sometimes, especially in the summer, and you just see people and they're in singlets and shorts and they're riding on open roads, which open road in New Zealand is 100 kilometers an hour. And you're just thinking, man, anything could happen. You could just literally go around a corner, misjudge that corner, slide off, and boom, he's having skin grafts the rest of his life. And that's nothing that anyone wants. You don't want to wish that on your worst enemy. So that's pretty crap. So you obviously heard it many a times. People will be telling you, man, you got to be careful. The dangers, the dangers. And I kind of went into it thinking, oh, there are dangers, but what could really happen? It's not going to happen to me. And that's kind of the mentality you don't want in life. You gotta. Sadly, you kind of have to prepare for the worst to then get the best. So prepare for what could possibly happen, and then the best will happen, because you'll have the best outcome if something negative does end up happening. So just I reckon just kind of stick to that. Wear your gear, guys. And I hope this hasn't kind of torn you guys off buying a motorcycle or not. But anyway, guys, I better chop this video up here. Thank you guys for listening to my podcast. And yeah, have yourselves a good night, good day, wherever you are in the world. And yeah, if you guys like this, please like and subscribe. I'll probably do some more motorcycle content as time does go. I do want to I've like my small CC motorcycles, and I do kind of want to get back into motorcycle riding. And what I want to do is I kind of want to test ride and review a Honda Shadow 150 because I don't see there's too much content out there, and I want to test ride and review the Suzuki Gixxer 150, both faired and unfaired versions. So yeah, if you guys want to see that content, just throw a comment or a like in this video, and I'll see what I can do. But thank you guys.